Hey, I'm Cam, and welcome to the real world. Today, we're going to take a quick look at my Criterion collection. So, for those of you who don't know, the Criterion Collection is a company that takes important classic and contemporary films and puts them on the best possible quality format. All of these discs are full of bonus features. The cover art is great. They have their own specialty casing, some of them. They just put out the best possible version of the movie for the home video market. I've been collecting these movies for many years now. Over 10 years, I've been collecting these Criterion movies. So, this is how I've discovered a lot of foreign films. This is how I've discovered a lot of older movies as well. So, this is a great way to really dig in if you're getting into movies and the history of film. All right, so let's check out what I got. Most go in alphabetical order, but I've got mine organized a little bit differently. They're in chronological order from release date. So the first film we're starting with is from 1931. It's M by Fritz Lang, the director from Germany. This is an excellent movie. If you haven't checked it out, I would highly recommend it. Sort of a murder mystery film. It's all about justice and society as a whole. It's very, very well made. Peter Lorre in one of his early starring roles here. Next up is It Happened One Night. This is the classic romantic comedy from Frank Capra. He's a director known for Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, It's a Wonderful Life. So if you're a fan of those movies, you'll definitely enjoy this one. Clark Gable, Claudette Colbert. This is an excellent kind of prototype of the romantic comedy genre that we know today. The Man Who Knew Too Much, another Peter Lorre starring vehicle here. This is from Alfred Hitchcock. This is one of his original films from 1934 that he made in Europe before he came to America. And this is one is well worth watching. He later remade it with James Stewart, but this one is a really good early entry from the director. Also from Alfred Hitchcock, I have a lot of his in my collection. The 39 Steps. This is sort of the original version of North by Northwest. It has a lot in common with that film, sort of a wrong man on the run spy film from 1935. This one is definitely worth watching if you're into Alfred Hitchcock, another one of his early films. 1936, this film was made. It's called Things to Come, based on the H.G. Wells novel. It is an absolutely stunning science fiction film, crazy production design, excellent costumes and effects from early Hollywood here. So if you're a science fiction fan, this is a must see. The Lady Vanishes, 1938. Alfred Hitchcock made this movie. It's sort of all set on this train, and it's just very, very well done. So, another really good, mysterious sort of Hitchcock movie here. Bringing Up Baby, one of my favorite romantic comedies of all time. Howard Hawks directed this. He's one of my favorite directors. He did kind of every genre and did an excellent job every time he went out and did one. Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn are in this, two huge movie stars. And so this is another classic comedy you've got to watch. Stagecoach by director John Ford, the director of the Western. He directed so many great ones, and this is an early one from him. Also, his first collaboration with John Wayne, who shows up here as the Ringo Kid. So this is a great 1939 film, one of the greatest years in film history. You got to watch Stagecoach if you're at all a fan of Westerns. Incredible stunt work in this too. The Four Feathers. This is from 1939 as well. It's sort of a grand sweeping war film. It's really, really well done by Zoltan Korda, who was a big director at the time. And so if you haven't seen this, you got to check it out. If you're a fan of those big, grand sweeping sort of epics, this is one to watch. Lastly, from 1939 is Only Angels Have Wings. This is one of my all-time favorite films. Again, from Howard Hawks, one of my favorite directors. And Cary Grant is back in this one in the starring role alongside Jean Arthur, who is excellent in this. It's about these cargo pilots sort of going through this treacherous terrain in South America. And it's all about their relationships and has some incredible aerial photography and special effects and stunt work. So definitely watch Only Angels Have Wings. From 1940, Rebecca. This is one of Alfred Hitchcock's greatest films. It is such a great, kind of haunting, romantic film. It's really well done, very well acted. Laurence Olivier is in this along with Joan Fontaine, and they both do an excellent job. So if you're a fan of Hitchcock and you kind of want something a little bit different, a little more moody, and very, very beautifully shot. Definitely check out Rebecca. 1940, Alfred Hitchcock also made Foreign Correspondent. This is a really, really good, another kind of on the run spy thriller that Hitchcock was known for. And so, very, very well shot, well edited, great performances. Joel McCrea is great in this as well. So, definitely watch Foreign Correspondent if you're a fan of those types of Hitchcock films. His Girl Friday, one of the great kind of screwball romantic comedies. Cary Grant in this with Rosalind Russell. They both do an excellent job. Another Howard Hawks film. This is just a wonderful comedy, very witty dialogue, very snappy, very fast paced. This is a really, really fun movie that you should check out. The Philadelphia Story, also from 1940. This is Cary Grant, James Stewart, and Katharine Hepburn, three huge titans of the acting world, and they're all excellent in this. It's one of the best sort of romantic comedies ever made. It's George Cukor who directed it, and he did an excellent job. So this is another must see from the rom-com genre. Sullivan's Travels from Preston Sturges. This is a really, really well-made film. Another Joel McCrea performance, along with Veronica Lake. He does a great job in this. He plays a big Hollywood director who decides to start living as a hobo to kind of get in touch with society in America. And so it's an excellent story, very, very well directed and well made. Beauty and the Beast. This is a French film and it's from 1946. It's very, very well made. It has wonderful makeup effects on the beast, and it's a very haunting film. If you want to get into some foreign films, this is a good place to start. It's a familiar story, but it's done in a very unique way. So check out Beauty and the Beast. My Darling Clementine. This is another John Ford Western starring Henry Fonda as Wyatt Earp. This is the Tombstone story, the gunfight at the OK Corral, Doc Holliday. That's all here. And it's done in a kind of slightly more exaggerated, more poetic way. It's a more romantic story, and but very well worth watching. So if you're a fan of the Western genre, this is another one you should check out. The Killers from 1946. This is a noir film, and I got into noir films through the Criterion Collection. And this is one of the best. It actually features two films, the 1946 version and the 1964 remake. So I would highly recommend this. You kind of get two movies in one here. Both are very well done, very kind of intense crime stories if you're into that sort of thing. My favorite Hitchcock film, Notorious. This is excellent filmmaking on every level. Ingrid Bergman is fantastic. Cary Grant is also in this one. And we have Claude Rains, who's one of the great actors of his day. So if you're a fan of Hitchcock, this is to me his most suspenseful film. Beautifully shot, wonderfully acted. This is Hitch at his best. Another interesting noir film, The Ride the Pink Horse. This is 1947, and it's all takes place in Mexico. So it's a unique setting for a noir, but Robert Montgomery does a great job both directing and starring in this. And very, very unique story, unique setting, some great music in there, really well shot. So this is a different type of noir if you're looking for something different in that genre. Odd Man Out, Carol Reed's best film. It is an excellent movie, great, very noirish, very suspenseful type of story. The great James Mason stars in this one. So that's another one to check out if you're into noir. The Red Shoes. This is the first and only 4K that I currently have in the Criterion Collection. I had to get it because the visuals on this are absolutely stunning. I watched it just in regular HD and it looked great, so I knew the 4K would be a great upgrade to get. It's a very, very unique film, very sort of dreamlike quality to it. And so I highly recommend it if you haven't seen this from 1948, The Red Shoes. Closing out the 40s, Red River. This is another Howard Hawks production, and he's ventured into the Western genre here with John Wayne. So John Wayne delivers one of his best performances here. Howard Hawks' direction is great. It's about guys on a cattle drive across the West. So this is really, really well done. Nice box set. They actually include the book that the film is based on as well. So if you're a fan at all of Westerns, this is another must see. Jumping into the 1950s now with Rashomon, Akira Kurosawa's early film that put him on the map. It is an incredible achievement. It was so unique back then to see a movie like this, in which the same story is told from multiple perspectives in flashback. That had never really been done before. And so this is a groundbreaking film. It's so well made, so well acted. You have to check out Rashomon from 1950. Also from 1950, this is a recent pickup for me, The Furies by director Anthony Mann. He's known for a lot of great westerns, and this is no exception. This is Barbara Stanwyck and Walter Houston playing a father-daughter pair, and they are bickering rivals throughout this film, and it does a great job of showcasing family relationships and headstrong children and stubborn parents. It is an excellent, excellent film that I highly recommend. This one, they also included the book that the film is based on. So, great set here from Criterion. Night and the City. This also from 1950. It is a great film by Jules Dassin, and he is an excellent, excellent director, an American director who was blacklisted and had to make movies over in Europe. And this is one of the first ones he made over there in London. It's a great kind of on the run noir film, crime storyline. It's very, very well done. Definitely check this one out. The Asphalt Jungle, one of my favorite directors, John Huston, directed this. And this is a sort of noir heist movie. It's about a kind of crew that go on this heist mission. It's very, very well done, well shot on location, and has a great cast as well. So check this one out if you're into those types of stories. Ace in the Hole. This is Billy Wilder, one of his great films, great writer and director. Kirk Douglas delivers one of his best performance here as well. So this is a really, really well-made movie about a reporter who kind of gets caught up in the story that he's reporting on. The War of the Worlds, 1953. This is Byron Haskin at his best. It is such a well-made sci-fi movie. It was obviously remade by Steven Spielberg, and it's so, so well made. The special effects are incredible. No one had ever seen anything like this before, and it's just a lot of fun if you're into those kind of classic sci-fi stories. Seven Samurai from Akira Kurosawa. This is the ultimate action movie. I mean, it is a 3 hour epic, and the stunts in this are absolutely incredible to watch. Kurosawa, it's his greatest achievement, I think, as a director. So this is a must see. This was the first Criterion film I purchased, and I was not disappointed at all. The Samurai Trilogy. Toshiro Mifune stars in this as a real life samurai. Musashi Miyamoto was a real person, and they made an entire trilogy of films about his life. So this is a really, really well done biopic, a biopic trilogy that I don't think gets made very often. I've never heard of someone getting three movies made about their life, but he did, and it's very, very well made. Each film is unique and a lot of fun to watch. So check out the Samurai trilogy if you're into that genre. Sancho the Bailiff. This is another samurai film, but it's much more contemplative, not as action heavy. It's a very kind of ethereal look to it and feel very well shot. So this is another one to watch if you want a unique type of samurai movie. On the Waterfront, also from 1954, Marlon Brando delivers what I think is his best performance in this film. Elia Kazan does an excellent job directing. He's a phenomenal director. And so this is a great, very kind of slice of life story, very inspiring story as well. So this is one that is a must watch if you're into kind of classic Hollywood movies and performances. Godzilla, the original from 1954. This is an absolutely incredible achievement by Ishiro Honda. He just did an incredible job directing this. Great effects that, again, no one had ever seen before at the time. This kicked off one of the longest running movie franchises ever. So, this is an absolute classic of the sci fi genre, the original monster movie. Godzilla, you got to check it out. It's very, very good. Jubal, this is a Western, kind of a more melodramatic Western than we're typically used to seeing. Ernest Borgnine is great in this. Glenn Ford is in this as well. And Delmer Daves just did a phenomenal job directing Jubal. This is a really, really well-made movie. So this is one to check out if you're into, if you want a different kind of Western. The Night of the Hunter. This is one of my all-time favorite films. It's from a director named Charles Laughton, who was a British actor. And this is unfortunately the first and last film he made as a director. But he did an excellent job. It is superb acting by Robert Mitchum, Shelley Winters. The two child actors in it do a great job as well. It is a horrific film, very, very scary movie, very well shot and edited. So this is one that is an absolute must see. Hard-boiled noir here with Kiss Me Deadly. This is a really, really well-made movie by Robert Aldrich. This is so, so well done, and it's such an interesting, different kind of noir. It's sort of what you would expect from a noir, but the ending is so unexpected that it makes for one of the great kind of twists in modern movie history. So definitely check out Kiss Me Deadly. My favorite heist film is Rafifi. This is another Jules Dassin film from 1955, and he just did an excellent job directing. It's kind of the prototype for any kind of heist film. Ocean's 11, you name it, they've all looked back to this movie to see how to do it and how to do it right. Building suspense, getting the crew together, a great cast of characters, pulling off the actual heist itself. It's all very, very well done in Rafifi. Throne of Blood, an excellent samurai film from Akira Kurosawa. He really branched out here and did something different that he hadn't done before. It's actually an adaptation of Macbeth by William Shakespeare, and it's all set in feudal Japan. And the look of the film is absolutely incredible. It's unlike anything he's done before. So definitely check out Throne of Blood, originally titled The Spiderweb Castle. The Seventh Seal. This is Ingmar Bergman at his best. I think it's one of his greatest achievements. And Max von Sydow is in this, of course, and it's about a knight who returns home from the Crusades only to find death everywhere around him. It is really, really well made, very unique filmmaking. And so if you're into foreign films, you're getting into foreign films, this is definitely one to check out. 310 to Yuma, Delmer Daves at his best. I think this is his greatest achievement as a director. Very, very well made film. Glenn Ford at his best. Van Heflin also is really good in this. And so this is a must see Western. It's one of the classics of the genre about a farmer who's tasked with taking a criminal to the train station to go to prison. And the kind of crazy journey they go on throughout the film is really, really uh, exciting and engaging and well made. My favorite Stanley Kubrick film is Paths of Glory. This is starring Kirk Douglas in a World War I film, and it is such a well-made movie, one of the best war movies of all time. You get the trench warfare, but you also get the effect that the war has on these soldiers and their leaders, and it's just an interesting combination of things that he brings together in this film. It's so, so well done, all shot in black and white from 1957. Definitely check this one out. Also from 1957, 12 Angry Men, one of my all-time favorite movies. Sidney Lumet directed this, did an excellent job. The cast is fantastic. Henry Fonda leading out. It's all set in one location, and it's about a jury trying to decide the fate of a young man. And very, very effective filmmaking here. Very well written, well directed, well acted. Excellent movie. You have to see this. Sweet Smell of Success. This is Alexander McKendrick at his best. Burt Lancaster, Tony Curtis, excellent performances all the way around. Really interesting city movie, sort of drama, sort of crime drama. It's so, so well made. This is one definitely to check out. A Face in the Crowd. This is Elia Kazan. I think at his best. It's between this and On the Waterfront that we already talked about. But Andy Griffith is excellent in this role as Lonesome Rhodes. He's a guy who's kind of plucked from obscurity and shot to fame, and it's about the effects that fame has on a person. It's extremely well made. You have to check out A Face in the Crowd. The Hidden Fortress from Akira Kurosawa. If you're a Star Wars fan, this is a must see because this is what George Lucas was inspired by to make Star Wars. So you'll see a lot of similarities between kind of the story and characters in Star Wars and in this film. It's very, very well done. A unique samurai movie, but extremely well made. So definitely check out The Hidden Fortress. The Blob, the original sci-fi horror B movie starring Steve McQueen in one of his earliest roles. This is from 1958. and it is just excellent, excellent. So much fun, great special effects, really, really good sort of a drive-in movie from the 1950s, and one that you should not miss. Anatomy of a Murder. This is a really good James Stewart film by Otto Preminger. It's a murder mystery, courtroom drama. So if that's your speed, then this is one you have to see. Some Like It Hot, one of my favorite comedies of all time. We've got Jack Lemmon, Tony Curtis, and Marilyn Monroe, all in this, directed by Billy Wilder, one of the great directors we've talked about several times already. He does an excellent job in this. It's so much fun, a lot of memorable dialogue, memorable scenes, very well shot. It's a lot of fun. So if you're into comedies, this is one of the classic Hollywood comedies of all time. Kicking off the 1960s with 1961's Yojimbo and its sequel, Sanjuro. These are excellent samurai movies. If you're looking to get into the genre and you want to see kind of what they're all about, Kurosawa directed both of these. And this is what sort of inspired The Man with No Name that Clint Eastwood played in a lot of his westerns. So definitely watch these two if you're into that type of sort of mythic storytelling. Toshiro Mifune is excellent in this role, probably some of his best work ever. 1962, we have Zatoichi, the Zatoichi collection here from Criterion. This is an incredible box set they put together. It's really, really well made. I love the artwork outside of it. This features 25 films across 2 decades. It is an incredible achievement, one of the longest running film franchises ever. It is absolutely stunning what they were able to do with these movies. Each of them has its own unique story, and but the same actor played Zatoichi, the blind swordsman, in every single movie here. So it's a beautiful set they put together. I had to get it because I'm so into samurai films, and so that's one to definitely watch out for. The Manchurian Candidate from 1962. This is tons of fun. Very, very good political thriller. John Frankenheimer directed this. It stars Frank Sinatra, Lawrence Harvey, Janet Leigh, and Angela Lansbury in a very, very different type of role for her. Very creepy movie, and it's very, very well done. So, political thrillers, Captain America, The Winter Soldier, 3 Days of the Condor. This is where all those originated. So, definitely watch this one. Federico Fellini's Eight and a Half. This is a movie that gets kind of meta. It's sort of about what the director himself was going through at the time. And so it's a really personal film. It's very, very well made, beautifully shot and edited. So definitely check out this one if you're into those sort of movies about movies. Lord of the Flies, the original from 1963, based on the book. I'm a big fan of the remake from the 90s as well, but this is a really well made movie. Great acting performances from the kids in it, and just a classic story about the nature of man. So definitely check out Lord of the Flies if you haven't already. Another classic Kubrick film, Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb from 1964, the ultimate political satire. It is absolutely hilarious. Peter Sellers delivers three different performances in this, and George C. Scott is in it as well. It's really well made on every level, so definitely watch this one if you haven't. Three Outlaw Samurai, a classic samurai movie. If you're into the more action-driven samurai stories, this is one to check out. Robinson Crusoe on Mars from 1964. This is a classic sci-fi movie. Byron Haskin also made this one, and it's so well done. The special effects are great. It's very, very fun, kind of silly, over-the-top sci-fi stuff from the era, and it's very, very fun. So if you haven't seen this one and you're a fan of science fiction, definitely watch it. The Flight of the Phoenix, one of my favorite films from the decade of the 1960s. James Stewart in a great performance. You've also got Richard Attenborough here, Peter Finch, Hardy Kruger, and Ernest Borgnine. And this one is directed by Robert Aldrich as well. And everyone involved in this production did a great job, shot on location. It's about this band of people who are in a plane crash and they have to survive in the desert. And the relationships and how they're tested is really, really good. It's really well made on every level. A movie I've watched a number of times and enjoy every single time I watch it. The Sword of Doom, a creepy, very, very moody samurai movie. If you haven't seen this, this is one to watch for. Very, very well made. Basically, a horror movie set in feudal Japan. It is very, very shocking and well made. Tokyo Drifter, one of the coolest movies ever made. The lead character sings his own theme song throughout it. It's so much fun. Really unique, sort of 60s crime film, gangster film from Japan. Definitely check that one out. Les Samurai, this is a French film about an assassin. Another one of the coolest movies ever made, 1967. Excellent performances, great looking movie. If you want to get into more foreign films, that's one to check out. Night of the Living Dead, 1968 classic horror movie. George A. Romero directed it. The original zombie movie. It is excellent on every level. This is a beautifully made film, very low budget, but excellent filmmaking on every level. Great performances, great makeup. This is where it all started. If you're a fan of zombie movies, you got to check it out. Army of Shadows. This is Jean-Pierre Melville's greatest achievement, I think. It's about the French Resistance. There haven't been a lot of movies made about the French Resistance, and this is a very realistic look at what they had to do. And it's shocking. It is scary. It's sad, but it's a well-made movie from 1969. Check it out. Bruce Lee, his greatest hits. Five Bruce Lee movies are included here, including Enter the Dragon. Excellent, excellent filmmaking. If you are into martial arts at all, if you like action movies, he was one of the greatest. I mean, he was an amazing achievement what he was able to do as an actor and a stuntman. So definitely watch all these. They're all worth watching. My favorite might be Fist of Fury, but they're all very, very well made movies. So this is a great box set that Criterion put together. Lone Wolf and Cub, great, great samurai movies here. Six films in this collection. And this is what inspired The Mandalorian. This is about a samurai and his young son as they're going on this kind of revenge mission. And very, very violent, extremely graphic in its depiction, but it is very well made on every level. So if you're into hardcore, crazy samurai movies, this is what to watch. Badlands from 1973. This is an excellent, excellent story. Very well made by Terrence Malick, who's a very specific kind of filmmaker, much more kind of artistic in his flourishes. This is probably his most accessible film, I would say. It's based on a true story. Martin Sheen, Sissy Spacek both do a great job here. Definitely check out Badlands if you want something a little bit different. Another Terrence Malick film from 1978. This is Days of Heaven with Richard Gere and Sam Shepard. It is an absolutely wonderful looking movie. If you just want some beautiful shots of the American landscape, this is one to watch. It's also got a great story about jealousy and betrayal that you'll definitely want to watch. So, yeah, if you want another kind of unique filmmaker, again, Malick is one of those. So be sure to watch this one. From 81, Time Bandits. This is a Terry Gilliam movie. It's a fantastical, a wild adventure story, and it's so, so well made. Wonderful special effects, great actors in it. We have guys like Sean Connery and Ian Holm making cameo appearances here. It's just tons and tons of fun if you're into that kind of quirky fantasy style that he's known for. Blood Simple from 1984. This is the Coen brothers' first film. Joel and Ethan Coen directed this and wrote it. And it's sort of, get a lot of their elements in this, but it's a much more serious film. They're kind of become known more for comedy later on, but this is a lot darker. And it's really well made, though. Great performances. Frances McDormand is here. Emmett Walsh does a great job in this one, too. So definitely check out Blood Simple if you're at all a fan of the Coen brothers. Another Terry Gilliam movie from 1985. It's Brazil. This is, to me, his best film. I think it is fantastic. One of the great sci-fi movies of all time. It's sort of a dystopian future, and it's very, very well done on every level. I think this is just incredible production design and costumes and special effects. Check it out if you're into those kind of quirky sci-fi films. Jackie Chan, Police Story and Police Story 2, both included here, both excellent action movies. He's, of course, an incredible actor and stuntman, does all of his own stunts. And these are some of the best he's ever pulled off. I couldn't believe it when I was watching some of these things that he did in this. And his stunt team is just incredible to watch. So definitely watch these two. He directed both of these movies as well. So him as a filmmaker, you're really getting everything you could want out of a Jackie Chan movie. You're getting action, you're getting drama, you're getting comedy. It's all in there. But these are a little bit more serious than what you're maybe used to from his later works. But definitely worth watching. Excellent films. The Princess Bride. I had to pick this up. The book that they included here is so nice, and it's just so well done. A nice little package they put together here. Rob Reiner directed this. It's a cult classic. It's so funny, very romantic. It's got a little bit of action in it, so it has something for everyone. But a must see from 1987, The Princess Bride. The Before trilogy. This is three films about two people having conversations. That's really all this is. It's very simple filmmaking, but it's extremely effective. Very well written and directed by Richard Linklater. He's a great director. He directed all these movies starring Ethan Hawke and Julie Depley, and they both do an excellent job directing here. They both do an excellent job acting here in Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight. All three well worth watching. Definitely check these out if you're into very intimate sort of character dramas. The New World, the third of Terrence Malick's films in my collection. This is the true story of John Smith and Pocahontas, and it is very well made, beautifully shot on location, a stirring tale, and it's really well done on every level. I think this is just superb filmmaking. It really transports you back in time in a way that few films are able to do. So if you're into Malick and you like his movies, this is another one you have to see. Pan's Labyrinth, my favorite of Guillermo del Toro's films. He's one of my favorite directors. I think he's a genius. Visual storytelling is his forte. He absolutely does an incredible job here. It's sort of a fairy tale, but it's very intense and dark. But the lead actress here, she does a great job. Incredible effects and makeup. Doug Jones does some of his most spectacular work under so much makeup and effects. It's just very effective and affecting story that he told with this unique film. Inside Llewyn Davis. This is another Coen Brothers movie, one that's very quirky that I really enjoy. Oscar Isaac is in this, Adam Driver, John Goodman. It's got an excellent cast, and it's sort of all about the 1960s Greenwich Village folk music scene, right before Bob Dylan came on the scene. It's sort of loosely based on a guy named Dave Van Ronk, and just really effective filmmaking on every level. It's a very kind of story full of despair, but also inspiring in many ways. So definitely check out Inside Llewyn Davis. Great soundtrack on this one. Final film is The Grand Budapest Hotel by Wes Anderson, the one and only. This is, I think, his best movie. He utilizes every tool at his disposal, shooting in different aspect ratios and color and black and white, doing so many different things. The effects in this, the camera work, the editing, the music, performances. Adrian Brody's in this, Jude Law, Jeff Goldblum. So many great actors appear here, and it's such a funny movie as well as just an enjoyable watch. Very pleasing to the eye. So definitely watch this. If you're not a fan of Wes Anderson, I suggest getting into his filmography here. But if you're a lifelong fan, then this is, of course, a must see. All right, so that's my Criterion Collection. Those are all the films I own in the Criterion Collection currently. I look forward to adding many more to the collection soon, and be on the lookout for their sales. They always have sales a couple times a year, both at Barnes & Noble and on their own site. So you can go to criterioncollection.com. I'll leave that link in the description below. Be sure to give us a like, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to get notifications of all the videos we do here at The Real World. And we'll see you next time right here on The Real World.